Amigos y amigas, un saludo cordial para todos, deseando sea para todos un excelente día y nunca olvidemos que no existe prueba en el camino que con valor y fe no podamos sobrellevar. Recordemos, no hay mal que dure 100 años y estamos creando nuestra propia historia. Bienvenidos, mi nombre es Michael González, trayendo la noticia desde la isla del encanto Puerto Rico. Entrando en materia, les conseguí unas notas muy interesantes desde Casablanca, las cuales estaré compartiendo en breve. Orden ejecutiva sobre el pedido de la reserva seleccionada de las Fuerzas Armadas al servicio activo, emitido el 30 de abril de 2020. Por la autoridad conferida a mí como presidente de la Constitución y las leyes de los Estados Unidos de América, incluida la sección 12304 del título 10, Código de los Estados Unidos, y haber determinado que es necesario aumentar las Fuerzas Armadas regulares de los Estados Unidos para una misión operativa nombrada específicamente la Operación Antinarcótica del Departamento de Defensa mejorada en el hemisferio occidental. Por la presente ordeno lo siguiente. Sección 1. Autoridad de activación. Se ordena al Secretario de Defensa que ordene el servicio activo durante no más de 365 días consecutivos. Cualquier unidad y cualquier miembro individual no asignado a una unidad organizada para servir como unidad de la reserva seleccionada bajo la jurisdicción del Secretario de Defensa, que no supere los 200 reservistas seleccionados al mismo tiempo, según lo considere necesario. Disposiciones generales. Nada en esta orden se interpretará para menoscabar o afectar de otra manera la autoridad otorgada por ley a un departamento o agencia ejecutiva o jefe de la misma. Las funciones del director de la Oficina de Gestión y Presupuestos relacionadas con presupuestarias, administrativas o legislativas. Esta orden se implementará de conformidad con la ley aplicable y sujeta a la disponibilidad de apropiaciones. Esta orden no tiene la intención y no crea ningún derecho o beneficio sustantivo o procesal exigible por ley o en equidad por ninguna de las partes contra los Estados Unidos, sus departamentos, agencias o entidades, sus funcionarios empleados o agentes o cualquier otra persona. Donald J. Trump, La Casa Blanca, 30 de abril 2020. Con notas desde Casa Blanca, continuamos. Texto de una carta del presidente al presidente de la Cámara de Representantes y al presidente del Senado, emitido el 1 de mayo 2020. Estimada señora presidenta, estimado señor presidente, de conformidad con la Ley de Poderes Económicos de Emergencia Internacional 50 USC 1701 y siguientes, y EPA, la Ley Nacional de Emergencia 50 USC 1601 y siguientes, y la sección 301 del título 3, Código de Estados Unidos, por la presente informo que tengo una orden ejecutiva declarando una emergencia nacional para hacer frente a la amenaza que representa la adquisición o uso sin restricciones en los Estados Unidos de equipos eléctricos de sistemas de energía a granel diseñados, desarrollados, fabricados o suministrados por personas propiedad de, controladas o sujetas a la jurisdicción o dirección de adversarios extranjeros. Los adversarios extranjeros están creando y explotando cada vez más vulnerabilidades en el sistema de energía masiva de los Estados Unidos. El sistema de energía a granel proporciona la electricidad que respalda nuestra defensa nacional, nuestros sistemas vitales, nuestros servicios vitales de emergencia, nuestra infraestructura crítica, nuestra economía y nuestra forma de vida. El sistema de energía masiva es un objetivo de aquellos que buscan cometer actos maliciosos contra los Estados Unidos y su gente, incluidas las actividades cibernéticas maliciosas. Si bien mantener un clima abierto de inversión en equipos eléctricos de sistemas de energía a granel y en la economía de los Estados Unidos, en general es importante para el crecimiento y la prosperidad general de los Estados Unidos, dicha apertura debe equilibrarse con la necesidad de proteger a nuestra nación contra una amenaza crítica a la seguridad nacional. Para hacer frente a esta amenaza se requieren pasos adicionales para proteger la seguridad. La orden ejecutiva prohíbe ciertas transacciones futuras que involucren equipos eléctricos de sistemas de energía a granel, donde el secretario de Energía, en coordinación con el director de la Oficina de Gestión y Presupuesto, en consulta con el secretario de Defensa, el secretario de Seguridad Nacional, el director de Inteligencia Nacional y según corresponda, los jefes de otros departamentos ejecutivos y agencias ha determinado que la transacción involucra equipos eléctricos de sistemas de energía a granel diseñados, desarrollados, fabricados o suministrados por personas que son propiedad de, controladas o sujetas a la dirección. La transacción plantea un riesgo indebido de sabotaje, integridad, fabricación, producción, distribución, instalación, operación o mantenimiento del sistema de energía a granel en los Estados Unidos. Plantea un riesgo indebido de efectos catastróficos sobre la seguridad o la resistencia de la infraestructura crítica de los Estados Unidos o la economía de los Estados Unidos. De lo contrario, representa un riesgo inaceptable para la seguridad nacional de los Estados Unidos o la seguridad de las personas de los Estados Unidos.
¡Ya basta, Freezer!
Es delegado al secretario la autoridad para tomar tales acciones, incluida la dirección del momento y la forma de cesar las transacciones pendientes y futuras prohibidas de conformidad con la
¡Basta, Freezer!
la adopción de normas y reglamentos apropiados, el empleo de todos los demás poderes otorgados al presidente por IEPA, según sea necesario para implementar la orden ejecutiva. Los jefes de todas las agencias, incluida la Junta de Directores de la Autoridad del Valle de Tennessee, deben tomar todas las medidas apropiadas dentro de su autoridad para implementar las disposiciones de la orden ejecutiva. Adjunto una copia de la orden ejecutiva que es ejecutiva. J. Trump. Bueno amigos, aquí terminando ya con la segunda nota, dejamos de aquí un poquito de información de la que no se ve en la televisión, pero pues que aquí la conseguimos para ustedes.
We're going to recognize several individuals who have responded to the invisible enemy with courage, determination, and grace. Terrific people. In recent weeks, our nation has endured extraordinary hardships and loss, and we mourn with one heart for every life that's been taken from us. In the midst of so much pain, the heroes we honor today are a true source of inspiration for us all. Really are a very great inspiration for us all, for the whole country.
19 Q's back post 4027 gives us this pic. We can recognise Hussein here. We don't know who these people are. And that Q gives us this link, which is to a tweet by Greg Coxios. Infiltration instead of invasion. And he's commenting on a tweet by Deep State Exposed that says Brennan speaks out about his Muslim faith in fluent Arabic. I haven't seen this one before. Let's just have a quick listen.
Like the president during his childhood years in Jakarta, I came to see Islam not how it is often misrepresented, but for what it is. How it is practiced every day by well over 1 billion Muslims worldwide. A faith of peace and tolerance and great diversity. And if you permit me, or I should say, اسمح لي, بعد إندونيسيا سافرت إلى مصر وهناك درست عربية في جامعة أمريكية القاهرة وهذا في سنة 1975 و 76 وسافرت إلى الأردن وفلسطين والقدس وتونس وبعد مصر ساكن في الشرق الأوسط تقريبا 6 سنة.
We've heard enough, nothing more needed to be said. Then, at 12:23, Q comes back, gives us another link, this time to a tweet by Lisa Page that reads, Iran is smart and strategic and all over the world. Iran isn't an irrational actor, but they have a pride of a 5,000-year-old culture. I fear they are going to hit back in a way to remind America that they are a real and independent country. I hope I'm wrong. And she tweeted that out on January 3. So, has Lisa Page got an Iranian connection? Looks like it. Then at 12:25, Q comes back onto the board and gives us a Peter Stroke Iranian connection. This article written by Arnie Hoffman, regional editor sometime back in the past, I don't know where this is from, but tells us that Peter Stroke was in Iran and he'd very much like to go back to Iran. He spent 2 years of military service and 7 months as a civilian in the country. So he has an Iranian connection And then at 12:29, Q's back on the board telling us that Valerie Jarrett had a Iranian connection. Gives us this link to an Encyclopedia Britannica entry on Valerie Jarrett, who was born in Iran and spent much of her childhood travelling abroad as her father was a physician who assisted developing countries in establishing healthcare systems. Then at 12:36, Q's back and gives us this link, which is to a report in the Daily Caller from 2nd of April 2018, which is titled DCNF reporter Luke Rosiak digs deeper into Imran Awan IT scandal, and it's not good news for the Democrats. The story reads, a Daily Caller news reporter, Luke Rosiak, said Democrats exhibited terrible judgment in the wake of the House IT scandal Monday on Fox Business and questioned why they still haven't taken action. The A1 brothers, who worked as IT aides for many Democratic members of Congress, including Debbie Wasserman Schultz, has been the focus of an investigation into security practices on Capitol Hill. The brothers were not given background checks before being given access to highly sensitive government information, and no explanation has been given as to why. The House policy actually says that background checks are required, but if you delve into the fine print, there's technically a loophole that these members may have been able to invoke that essentially allowed another member just to vouch for them, Rosiak said on Mornings with Maria. Before you turn over the passwords that give the guys access to all of the emails of the members of Congress and every file on their hard drives and all the staffers' hard drives, they just kind of casually ask a friend, ask a fellow member of Congress, and fill out this form. And it turns out that all 44 members who employed Imran Awan, they never ran a background check. Okay, moving on. 12:38 now, a couple of minutes later, and Q posts number 4032 and gives us this link, which is to an article in Politico from April 24, 2017, and it's titled Politico Investigation, Obama's Hidden Iran Deal Giveaway. By dropping charges against major arms targets, the administration infuriated Justice Department officials and undermined its own counter-proliferation task forces. This story reads when President Barack Obama announced that one-time gesture of releasing Iranian-born prisoners who were not charged with terrorism or any violent offences last year, his administration presented the move as a modest trade-off for the greater good of the Iran nuclear agreement and Tehran's pledge to free 5 Americans. You all will recall the story. This is far more than what Politico is going to tell you, so there's no use reading anymore. But I think what Q wants us to recognise here is that Hussein had a relationship with Iran that was not well documented. The heading, Iran's Hidden Iran Deal Giveaway. How many billions of dollars were shipped over there by aeroplane? 5 planes apparently, as I recall. Anyway, let's move on. 1240 is back, this time with this link to a Twitter account by Deep State Exposed, which says, quote, with the steps I ordered last month, we are speeding up the training of ISIS forces with Sunni volunteers. Let's have a quick listen.
As I said before, this aspect of our strategy was moving too slowly, but the fall of Ramadi has galvanized the Iraqi government. So with the additional steps I ordered last month, we're speeding up training of ISIL forces, including volunteers from Sunni tribes in Anbar province.
So, as you can hear for yourself, Hussein's saying they're training the ISIS forces with the Sunni volunteers. Thus, the heading, video of Obama taking credit for training the ISIS or ISIL forces. Then Q's back again, 12:45, and gives us this link to a Michigan radio site and an article from April 26, 2018 titled Tensions Flare on Senate Floor Over GOP Senators' Muslim Brotherhood Remarks. This story reads, tensions were high on the Senate floor today when a lawmaker doubled down on claims that Muslim terrorist groups are trying to infiltrate the US. Republican Senator Patrick Colbeck is running for governor. A BuzzFeed article recently uncovered a presentation Colbeck gave. In it, He accuses a Democrat candidate for governor of having ties to the Muslim Brotherhood. Colbeck has offered no proof to support his claim. One of those future proofs past episodes, I think. Colbeck did not mention Abdul al-Sayed in his floor speech today, but he did reiterate his belief that there is a civilization jihad plot against America furthered by the Muslim Brotherhood. Colbeck said Muslims have gained positions of power in places like Hammertrap and Dearborn, where they plan to implement Sharia law. There's no evidence to support that second claim, but that hasn't stopped some fringe groups from stoking fears about it. Well, no fears anymore. The cat's out of the bag. Hence the title. Michigan Senator calls out Muslim Brotherhood civilization jihad plot against America. We continue on at 12:50. Q's back on the board and gives us this link, which is to an article in Real Clear Politics from January 31, 2013. Mark Levin. The Muslim Brotherhood has infiltrated our government. It's called Barack Obama. Wow, this stuff really coming to light now, isn't it? Mark Levin. What the hell's happening? Now we're back the Muslim Brotherhood. And then, of course, our dear friend Michelle Bachmann and Louis Gohmert and 3 other brave members of the House of Representatives asked questions about the Muslim Brotherhood's infiltration of our own government, and they're treated like pariahs. Well, the Muslim Brotherhood has infiltrated our government. It's called Barack Obama. No, he's not a formal member. He's a sympathiser. There, I said it. Prove otherwise, says Mark Levin. So, Q again is pointing out that Michelle Bachmann called out the infiltration by the Muslim Brotherhood back in 2012. Continuing on at 12:59, Q's back and simply says, one step at a time. Q. Is that step about ridding America of the Muslims that have infiltrated government? I don't know. Could be. And then this dropped 10 minutes later, 1:09, where Q gives us this link to a Fox News article from February 11, 2011, updated in 2015. It's time for Intelligence Director Clapper to resign. This is an opinion piece. James Clapper is a man who served his country with magnanimous distinction. He is an intellectually brilliant leader. Who wrote this? Such a person deserves the utmost respect and gratitude for his service to this great nation. With this said, in every person's life there is a time to hold and a time to fold. And just this week, DNI Clapper proved it's his time to fold. James Clapper has been placed in a very austere predicament, forcing him to play political games. He took an oath throughout his career, swearing to protect against all enemies, foreign and domestic. The political game he plays conflicts with the oath he swore. Well, none of them were loyal to their oath at all. And I think that's something that's becoming clearer and clearer as the days go by. This week, the current Director of National Intelligence made comments degrading the true threat imposed by the Muslim Brotherhood. His comments were most likely made in an attempt to appease his masters running the White House. Make no mistake, his recent comments about the Muslim Brotherhood were nothing but intentional. His recent statements proved to the country that he failed the people in his ethical obligations of seeking and speaking the truth about current threats as the Director of National Intelligence. And basically, Q says nothing else. And having a look at the bigger picture here, I think Q's trying to tell us that the Muslim Brotherhood
said that Michael Flynn would come back even bigger and better. So are you going to pardon him? And if so, are you considering to bring him back into your
Well,
administration?
it looks to me like Michael Flynn would be exonerated based on everything I see. Not the judge, but I have a different type of power. But I don't know that anybody would have to use that power. I think he's exonerated everything. I've never seen anything like it. What they did, what they wrote, you see this, General, you wouldn't want this happening to you, what they did to General Flynn. And it's just disgraceful. So, you know, I guess we'll get to that maybe someday or maybe not. Hopefully we won't have to get there.
Back to your administration.
Well, I think he's a fine man. I think it's terrible what they did to him. It's something that nobody's asked me, but you're asking me for the first time. I would certainly consider it. Yeah, I would. I think he's a fine man. I think he's got a great family. He loves his son. I will tell you, his son was around a lot, and he loves his son, as people generally do. And they did everything possible to destroy him. And he's still breathing very strongly, but they really hurt him very badly. Very, very unfair. Kristen?
Quick follow. In what capacity? I do have a coronavirus related question, but in what capacity would you bring him back?
Well, look. I mean, I'm not even. This is really the first time I've been asked the question, but I think he'll be fully exonerated, one way or the other. And so certainly he'd be capable of coming back.
It's America's love and strength, not its fears and doubts, that have paved the way and paved the road to victory. Together we'll emerge from this chapter of hardship and all of those deaths of such great souls and such great people with new unity and resolve. Our people will thrive, our industries will roar, our innovators will astonish, and America will triumph like never before.
Who the hell just said that? Joe, it's me, Hillary Clinton. Oh, yeah, Hillary. You're Mariah's wife, right? No, Joe. I'm Hillary Clinton, married to Bill Clinton. Oh, hell. Am I being Epstein? No, Joe. I'm endorsing you for president. President? Who's running for president? You're running for president, Joe. I thought we were just down here talking about economic intercourse. Joe? Joe? That went well. Well, don't blame me. I'm Captain Dipshit over here. God damn it, Joe! Wake up, huh? Who said that? Come on, people, listen up. Listen, seriously. This terror shape is in a really ugly shape. Well, what the hell are we gonna do? Well, I can run for president. Seriously, Hillary? Seriously? Get enough of an ass whooping that shot? Smoke to embarrass you a kid? What the hell am I doing here? Seriously, Joe? Just what the hell were you thinking? Sexually assaulting a woman? Oh, come on, man. I thought you liked me. Just because somebody likes you doesn't mean you go pointing your fingers into personal property. Huh? What are you talking about? She's talking about Tara Reid, dumbass. Who the hell is Tara Reid? Seriously, Joe? You don't remember who Tara Reid is? Hell, I don't even know who you are. Okay, I have a plan. Well, what is it? Well, Joe obviously has dementia, so once he appoints me VP, Joe will disappear, I will become president, Nancy will become my VP, and we will take over the world. Brilliant! And Jake, which is